Tonight we get set to enter into another discourse, another form of Lord Shiva. And in doing so, my intention is to grow your understanding of Lord Shiva. In tonight's discourse, everything is looking very bleak. Everything is looking very harsh. Life is bad. Family life is a lot of arguments, a lot of fighting for land, for money. And this person is begging for help. And he is guided to do worship to Lord Shiva. Tonight you will also hear about the importance of holding strong when you're tested. Some people, when things are good, you celebrate. I'm a Hindu, for example. I worship, I offer dar, things are happy, things are good on my birthday, I'm going to do the extra, sit around. I'm going to do all forms of worship, things are very good. But when things go in opposite direction, sometimes people start to lose faith. People want to know, where was God when this happened? How could God allow this to happen to me? Tonight, the person is guided even when things get harsh, when things get hard, when things seem bleak. You are still supposed to hold to your faith and don't allow the coercing of another individual to change your resolve. Tonight, a person is going to be tested. He was praying, good, and all forms of tests come. And what is the advice for the person around him? Why don't you give up this prayer? Why don't you change your prayer? Why don't you change your method and your means? I'm about to listen by your permission. I'm about to hear about a different incarnation of your form. Too often people talk about Hanuman Baba as the 11th incarnation of Lord Shiva. What about the other incarnations, Prabhu? How will I know your form? How will I know your game? How will I know your Leela if I don't know your history? Suppose a day will come, you come in my life, I might pass you. For this reason, I am engaging in that type of devotion that is described to be as the mode of listening to the glory of God, to His worship. And Smaranam is that type of devotion. I am trying to remember and recall now what I have learned, what I have seen, what I have heard. Tonight, puja for the Lingam was done, and I have the benefit of being together with these people. I will get the blessings of tasting what has come from the puja by your grace. Thank you for all of these things. We enter into the Satarudra Samhita of the Shiv Puran, where in this section, different incarnations of Lord Shiva is being discussed and described. Nandishwar is now asked, I heard there was a discourse, there was a conversation between Arjun of the Pandavas and that same Lord Shiva. It is said he took form upon the earth for the benefit of that Arjun. Could you please, Guruji, give to us that discourse, that dissertation? Could you help us understand what was the significance? This is a form of Lord Shiva. Kirat is described, that is the name of the form, that is described as having bows and arrows, a lot of arrows. He comes in a form as a hunter, and tonight we'll hear why. Let's enter where all the Pandavas are living in the forest, and somebody's about to look. Somebody's about to find them. Nandishwar says, Do you remember in the Mahabharata where Duryodhan coaxes, begs and pleads Durvasa Rishi? He had many shishya, many children with him, students. And Duryodhan had done a big yagya, big mandap to host all of these young Pundits. And after doing the prayer, after giving everybody food and all these different things, he wants to embarrass Yudhishthir further. Yudhishthir and his family, the 5 brothers and Draupadi, are all living in exile in the forest because of that gambling match that they had played. But Duryodhan's aim, he knows the power and the ferocity of the temper of Durvasa Rishi. And he says, don't hesitate. He says, today I am a very blessed individual. Guruji, don't even send message to Yudhishthir. Go and find him in the forest and let him feed you and all your thousands of shishya here. Give him the opportunity so that he can be blessed as I. Go without giving any due notice. Go without giving him any word. Go without giving him any chance to escape. Duryodhan is laughing secretly because he expects that when all these people show up, now Yudhishthir is no longer king. Yudhishthir is very poor and he has to live by meager means. How will he feed thousands of people? But if Durvasa Rishi reaches there and there is not enough food or the person is not as hospitable as he should, Durvasa Rishi will feel insulted and he will give Yudhishthir some form of shrap. Let's hear what happens. Nandishwar says Draupadi had been blessed with a pot that would make food endlessly so long as she hadn't eaten. Everybody in the house is fed. Everybody is eating and Draupadi sits down to eat last. And as she had taken food, by fate, Durvasa Rishi and all the munis, all the younger ones, they are coming. They show up by the doorway. They meet the husband Yudhishthir and they announce him, we are going to have bath in the waters and we are going to come back to have something to eat. Oh young king, please make preparation. We are very tired and we are very hungry and we are dependent on you for food. Yudhishthir goes to the kitchen to find Draupadi, hoping that she has an answer for him. Draupadi is speechless. If he had come one moment before, she could feed them twice, 3 times, 4 times over. But now that she has eaten for the rest of the day, that jar, that vase, that pot is barren. Yudhishthir is thrown into worries. But what does Draupadi do? She stays in the kitchen and she thinks of her brother, she thinks of her savior, she thinks of Krishna. Do you remember this discourse? Krishna reaches and he says, give me 1 grain of rice. She says, well, look inside the pot, it's empty. What will I give you now? And he scrapes the edge of this pot. What you and I will scorn. And that little half-cracked piece of rice, he places that into his mouth. And the verse says, when he became satisfied by that little grain, by that morsel, the body of all the munis that were bathing, they felt as if they had just eaten a massive amount of food. Feeling ashamed now, the same people that were declaring they were coming hungry, they dressed quickly and they want to escape the view of Yudhishthir because they told him to prepare for food and now they cannot eat a grain of rice. Nandishwar says, Krishna, after this was done, goes to talk to the Pandavas. Let's hear what he says to them. Shri Krishna says, Oh, sons of Pandu, it is my belief that you need to worship Shiva Baba. When I started to build Dwarka and I started to encounter enemies after enemies, when I started to feel the opposition and the resistance to the building of this massive city for 7 months, after listening to the Rishi Upamanyu, I worshipped Lord Shiva in that form called Batuk Bhairo. Batuk Bhairo is one form of the Bhairo. There are other versions of him. He says, but when I worshipped him in that form, all my desires were granted, and that city stood strong. All that we were being blocked, all the works that could not go forward, it was now moving very quickly. Before I leave here today, please take my advice and go to the feet of Shiva Baba and bless him and ask him to bless you. Sorry. Allow his darshan, allow his blessing to be with you so that you would overcome all this hardship that you are going through. Please take my advice. You need it. And this verse says, just as ordinary people do. Somebody gives you a good piece of advice, and just like how you and I will ignore it and delay it and put it off, and still we do not do what needs to be done. Likewise, the Pandavas ignored the words of Krishna. They did not worship Shiva. They did not even give it a second thought. They just told him they would do it, and they allowed time to pass. One day, they sent Abhila, a hunter, to go and spy on Duryodhan. And they are told, based on what the spy sees, there's a lot of weapons being amassed. He's preparing for war, and he's coming for you all soon. The spy says, oh brother, you better know trouble is coming. And this verse says, at that time, like the next morning after listening to these words, it so happened that Vedyas, that Guru, came to look for them. Guruji is covered in white ashes, wearing matted locks all over his body, plaited. And in this way he came, chanting the Panchakshar mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. They gave him a seat of kush grass. And the Pandavas started to speak with him, Guruji. It is by great tapasya and great jap, charity, that a person has the benefit of having good company, having satsang with gurus like yourself. Based on audiences like this, based on guidances that will come from people like you, a person can overcome all forms of misery. May you please guide us, Guruji. We were very opulent, we were very rich and well-to-do. But due to fate and one gambling match, due to arrogance and ego, we lost everything in the blink of an eye. In this way, O Guru, please guide us and show us the way to overcome some of these impediments that we are facing. He says, O sons of Pandu, don't feel so painful. Don't sound so hopeless. This is not the way. Do not desert the path of Dharma. Do not desert the path of truthfulness. Noble people know that whenever troubles come, tests will come, but you do not lose sight of the truth. At the course of their life, noble people hold to their Dharma. They hold to truth, what is real and what is not real. They know the difference, and they do not become blinded. Look at your uncle. He's overcome by greed. He's disregarding Dharma. He knows that you all Pandu, You all are like his sons. He knows there's no difference between his children and you all. But still, because of the greed, he is forgetting that. And he is allowing Duryodhan to let loose all forms of black magic, enemies, hurtful weapons, taboo, all forms of jadoo, all forms of magic are being let loose upon you because one person is plain blind to the truth. You do not fall prey to that. Let's hear what he says. He says, what do you want me to tell you? That everything is going to be okay every day? He says, no. Some days will be good, some days will be bad. He says, when people do you hurtful things, when people do you bad things, do you want a shoulder to cry on? This is not life. Life is bitter and sweet. And what you have to do, you have to stand up and face that test. Whether it is good or bad today, you do not give up hope. You do not change your dharma. You do not lose sight of truth. And you hold to that. When you stand in the light of truthfulness, when you stand in the light of your dharma, nothing will harm and hamper you. But those evil-minded people that wish to say things about you, those people that wish to throw words and hurt you, those people that wish to lie about you, when people sow seeds, give it time, and one day those seeds will germinate. And when those thorns start to bear fruit, those same people will want to know where the pain is coming from. Oh son, today is your day. You are incurring the benefit of the mistakes that you made. It is not coming just like that. You are paying for something. Earlier you were guided by Krishna to do worship for Shiva, but you did not heed that advice. You did not seize the opportunity. Now listen to my advice. Listen to my words, O son. When an individual is plagued by false accusations, when a person is plagued by the effects of Budgra, the planet Mercury, when that is predominant in a person's patra, people falsely accuse that individual. People hurt that person. People cause that person on towards shame. They drag that person's name for no reason, without proof. People will hurt this individual. People like this should go and worship Shiva. When women, when their character, their chastity is being questioned, Guruji says, "O Pandu, O sons of Kunti, let those women go and worship Shiva, and they will never have to face with false accusations. When people are attacking you, when the enemy is coming, you go and worship Mahadev Baba. When he has 3 faces, 5 faces, 6 faces, you worship him. And when he's black, when he's blue, when he's white, when he's dancing, when he's sitting, when he's standing, each one of them, you call on his different names. You use the Sahasranam of Mahadev Baba. And that trouble, that enemy will have to move away. Even if that enemy is death itself, it will not be able to touch you. Oh son, do not waste time. Enemies are amassing around you and they are preparing to attack you. Trouble is right there and you are sitting, you are tarrying for no reason. Get up and prepare to fight. Use your prayer. Use your dharma as your true weapon, and let your prayer, let your dharma, let the truth protect you. Let your Ishwar, let that light protect you, and nobody will be able to defeat you. Oh son, you get up. Yudhishthira looks around all his brothers and he says, Arjun, you out of all of us, you are the best to serve Ishwar. Go and do his worship. Yudhishthira says, Guruji, guide my brother for the benefit of us all, so that we would get his blessings, his darshan. Guruji says, prepare to worship Lord Shiva in the Parthiva form or in the earth form, the mud form. That lingam can be made from wood, it can be made from metal, It can be made from different types of stone for different benefit. Imagine there is even lingam that is made from ice. Lingam that is made from crystal. Swatik lingam. Narmada lingam. There is a different lingam that is worshipped for different purpose. Imagine Malyaka Arjun lingam or one of the Jyotir lingam. When Kartik is getting angry with mother and father and he decides to leave home, the mother and father take as a husband and a wife, they go and they beg, son come back, son come back. And right where they were kneeling, that transformed into a lingam. Till this day, when people lose children, they are on the verge of losing children to illness, sickness, etc. People use that particular lingam to regain their children. It is a form that is worship. The mantras and the prayer is worship is used when the parents are healthy and children are not. When parents are present and children do not wish to listen, even then there's a lingam for that. Guruji says, for what you are praying for, this is the lingam that is made from dirt. And you wait upon that lingam, you worship that lingam, talk to that lingam, and wait one day Lord Shiva will come. He says, but before you do this, so Arjun, go and worship Indradev. As a Kshatri, as a warrior, worship him so that you would have further blessings before you go and worship Ishwar. Without delay, Nandishwar says, everybody is sad to see Arjun leave, all his brothers, his wife. Taking excuse from his guru, he made preparations to go in a remote place to worship Indra Devta first. Indra is always sending all his spies, all his emissaries to see what is going on. And what caught their eye in Arjun, after having been praying for some time. You know, sometimes when you're doing prayer and you start to feel a difference right here. How to explain that to a person other than a sensation similar to if you put your finger like this and you play with this area right here. His sensation was that as of fire. His forehead was burning because of the luster, the energy that he had amassed during and doing his puja. The spies of Indra see this light as if it is a column of light coming above him. And they go back quickly. And what does these people tell Indradevta? There's a great person praying. And the way he's praying, we think he's coming for your throne. He wants what you have. Look out, O king, look out. You better go and see for yourself so that you would know what is to be done, how to handle the situation. Otherwise, he might become more powerful than you. Indradevta, becoming very, very uncomfortable, becoming worried that his seat or his position is now in question, takes the form of an old Pundit Swami, withered now, very old individual. And he goes close where Arjun is. And Arjun asks him, why have you come? Where have you come from? How could I help you? And Indra now in this form wants to test his tapasya. Let's hear what happens when these two go to talk. Imagine you were praying and somebody comes to question your prayer. Has that ever happened to you? You're sitting down doing your job, you're praying, good intention, calm, and somebody come and say, hey, what are you praying for? Who are you praying to? That is what's going on right now. Imagine an older person comes and the younger person is praying. You know, if it is me or you, we might get irritated. We might get angry. We ask him. Who asks me this? The old man says, young boy, what are you praying for? Are you praying for salvation or are you praying for victory? Do you know what you are doing? Nandishwar says, Arjun, remembering that in prayer a person tries to stay calm. The old Pundit continues, oh Kshatri, that tapasya you're doing it wrong. Arjun, young boy, you are sitting there, but you are praying to the wrong God. You are doing prayer to Indra. Indra could never give salvation. Are you sure he could give you victory? Change your prayer. Stop your prayer. Do it different. Do something else. And that anything else will be better than this that you are doing now. Arjun disregarded. He disregarded the words of the old man. And he just held on to what he was doing. He says, why don't you guide me in something positive? Why are you asking me if I'm praying for kingship or salvation? What type of question is that? If you cannot add value to my prayer, oh stranger, Arjun says it is better for you to leave this place. But do not come into my space, into my vicinity, and try to convince me that I need to stop my prayer. If somebody comes to you and says, you know what, you're catching your tail, you see in trouble, stop praying. Do you know there are people who will fall for that? In Pundit the other night, he talking about the Madhusala. Better I stop praying and start to drink rum forthwith. This praying thing don't work. If this praying was working in the first place, I wouldn't be in trouble. Do you know how many people fail to realize that if you get, for example, if you get into a little fender bender, how that little scrape or scratch could have been worse and could have been fatal or detrimental. It could have been worse. But not everybody has that understanding. Do you have that understanding? That when things are testing you in your life, you could see that God could have only allowed it to be worse. Without God there, I would have been in more trouble. Arjun says, learned one, if I were you, I would keep walking. Don't disrupt my prayer. Don't interfere with me when I am conversing with my God. Principle of Sri Vishnu Bhagwan ki say. Listening to these words, Indra revealed himself from being, as the old Pundit, he takes his normal, full of luster, Devta form. And he says, you know, I am so happy with your steadfast devotion. He says, people who want an end point, people who have a desire, sometimes give up the prayer that they are doing in want of something easier, some shortcut. And by doing so, throw away the benefit, the punyam of their prayer. There is a discourse where Lord Vishnu takes a form called Adi Vishnu. You know, in our religion, in our dharma, if nobody never said this, please listen tonight. Do you know why we don't condemn other religion? Please listen. Lord Vishnu one day had to deal with a very powerful individual who was very devoted in his prayer. He wouldn't stop praying. He wouldn't jib. He had discipline. He knew the truth was, so long as I'm praying, I'm protected. However, he continues to do bad. It's not that he's reforming his life, but he uses the prayer to gain all types of strength that would allow him to be victorious over prayerful or righteous people. So Lord Vishnu, from his body, when he's asked, please intervene, from his body, he creates a copy of himself, Adi Vishnu, holding a staff in his hand and another book. Lord Vishnu tells Adi Vishnu, go upon the earth and preach false doctrines. Go upon the earth and give them another method to worship God, but take away some of the fasting, some of the need for puja, some of the worship, the austerities, take away those things. so that it will be easier, and in doing so, you will distract this particular demon. So when Adi Vishnu goes close to the person who was praying, imagine the person is engrossed in his worship, and Adi Vishnu says, why are you doing all of this? I have a new method. I have a different method. Follow my method. No fasting now. There's no need for all of this, and you will gain what you are looking for very quickly. This form is called Buddha. He says, you follow me and forget what you were doing before. In that instance, the demon leaves off his regiment of prayer and changes. And when that change comes, Lord Vishnu is allowed to destroy him now that he's no longer protected by the armor of his prayer. Adi Vishnu comes to go back into the body. Now the work is done. He comes to go back into the body of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu says, stay. You go and test people. And if a person has the understanding to be my devotee, 1 in a million. That's what Lord Krishna says, right? 1 in a million will be my devotee. He says, allow that person to come to me. But what about the others? He says, strain them, remove them, pull them out, and allow them to follow any and all types of doctrine. Allow them to follow what they want, and one day maybe with karma they will grow and they will find me. This is where in our dharma it says it has a rule for other religions. Other religions preach different things. There is one that says God is as wide as the ocean, high as the sky, but he could only live in their place of worship. He cannot be here, there, and everywhere. There are some religions that preach harm and hate and cruelty from animals come straight up to human. In Hinduism, it says everybody has a journey to face based on their karma. And depending on your understanding, find your way. If a person wants to follow one religion, bless them to do it good. But blessed is the individual who is born, who has now gained so much karma that they are born from a womb into this dharma, where they understand the true face of God, that he could be all. That if you say God lives here, there, and everywhere, that understanding, not the worship, but look at the theory. Look at how you think, that there is no racial bias, there is no religious bias. Everybody, when people say Hinduism is a way of life, not a religion. A way of life, how to use the restroom, how to bathe, how to eat, how to cook, how to worship, yes. How to make children, how to rear children, the prayer to do when you're cutting the hair, etc. A way of life, how to go through life doing what needs to be done. He says when a person reaches to this height, due to their karma, great is the person who can appreciate their dharma and hold fast in that dharma. Let the person know that they had worked hard and exerted a great amount of pain to achieve not only the human body, but the quality of the life that they have, the training, the teaching that they have. Appreciate what you have and delve deeper and deeper into your dharma. Indra says, you have to understand, Arjun, your enemies such as Drona, Bhishma, Duryodhana, they are all more powerful than you. And you will not be able to overcome them. It will be very difficult for you and for me to bless you now that you will be able to overcome your impediments, your enemies. That is near to impossible. The only person who could help you, oh son, is Lord Shiva. He has the weapon, he has the ability to assist you. Go and worship him without delay and bless you. You be successful, and when you get the benefit of his worship, you would be able to destroy all your enemies. Prem Solo Mahapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Let's hear what happens. Arjun goes, sets up himself in a different place, worshipping a different lingam. All his Lord Shiva. But every day he would talk to his Lord Shiva and tell him about his problems, his predicament. What is his predicament? The argument is amongst family. Does he really want to fight his family? Does he really want to destroy them? But right is right. Truth is truth. Nandishwar says, in this way, one day, Arjun got up and he told Mahadev Baba, please look after here. I am going to have bath. And when I come back, we'll begin doing your job. Prabhu, wait for me. I'm returning now. But when he comes back, Duryodhan had sent a great demon by the name of Mukha, a boar with the great tusk, a pig that has big tusk, to destroy him before he started to do that job. They don't want him to be successful in his prayer. If he gains the favor of Lord Shiva, the Kauravas are going to be in trouble. Duryodhan has sent so many Daityas, Danavas, people with bad intentions to interfere with me. He says he has to be a friend of Duryodhan. Arjun thinking to himself, he says, when a person meets a friend, how do you know somebody's your friend or your enemy? When you meet with that person, you start to feel the emotions of delight, happiness, lightness, goodness. A certain aura comes over you because this person has come into your vicinity. He says, but when you have an enemy, when that person comes close to you, it is as if you are in pain. Your mind is hurtful. This person does not have good intentions, and your aura gives you that guidance. He says from the conduct of an individual, it reveals, it tells of the family he or she has come from. The body of that individual reveals the diet of that individual. The mode of speech, the way they speech is a given of the extent of their teaching. All these things, he says, by watching an individual, Arjun is gauging the situation. And he knows a lot about this animal, the intention of the animal, based on that. He says, I know when I'm praying, I'm not supposed to be engaging in any type of battle or any type of war. But my guru says, if I protect myself, if I am under attack and I defend myself, then I am pure in my duty. He picks up his bow and arrow, and the animal is getting ready to charge. The animal is scraping the earth. It is getting ready to charge at Arjun. And in that moment, Mahadev Baba opens his eyes on Kailash Parbat. He wants to save him. He has to protect him. But if Arjun is not protected, if he is not steadfast in his prayer, Mahadev Baba will not secure his devotion. He will not secure his breath. Lord Shiva takes the form of a bhela, of a hunter that is on the other side of the animal. He is holding his arrow in his bow, and they are watching the animal. Let's hear what happens. Arjun says, what is this? I cannot reach back to my lingam. It is as if I'm being blocked from my prayer. What type of interference is this? Lord Shiva, what is this? Lord Shiva, let goodness prevail. In his mind, he goes to his God. He sees danger and he says, I am holding on to you. You take care of me now. And Mahadev Baba, standing as the hunter, he pulls back the arrow just a little bit when he hears the words, the prayers of Arjun. Arjun standing there with that bow and arrow, waiting for that animal to charge. He says, I hold on to you. I do not give up your form. And I hold on to you even now when I am in danger. Bless me, O Mahadev. Bless me and do not allow me to fall. Nandishwar says, Shiva is the one who brings salvation. He's the granter of all redemption. When a person is fallen, when a person is in all forms of detriment, when nobody else will come, that Jagat Guru, that friend of the world, the Guru of the world, That person will come from a dream to guide you. That person will come, he will come in reality to save you. And in this moment, he comes in that hunter form to save Arjun. Let's hear what happened. Mahadev is the one who brings all the peace, all the happiness to his devotee. When a person is suffering, outward, inward, when a person is going through doubts about their self, about their ability, about their destiny, he says he is the person who stabilizes that individual, gives them control, gives them discipline, gives them that form of confidence that they need to do whatever that task is. When the person has to go for driving test exam and the morning just before you sit down in that car, that is one of the most depressing, anxious, scary moments a person will face. There's no bullet, there's no gun, but oh God, every eye is on you now. He says, put your mind to Lord Shiva. So many people are being robbed. Last night, Auntie from Kuva is telling me about security system. Sometimes as business people, the people we hire are the people who are trying to rob us. The same mouths we are trying to take care of are watching what you and I have, and they are coming back to rob. When these moments of anxiety come, when these painful moments come, the devotee, the true devotee, is supposed to hold steadfast to Lord Shiva. Do you have that type of devotion? Or when something bad is going to happen, when the Jack Spaniard is coming closer and closer, that time is a different kind of language. When it gives a sting, different words, but not Om Namah Shivaya. He says if a person is powerful, if a person has the taste of Lord Shiva, then you could take the poison and change it into nectar. But if you are negligent, the best of nectar could become poison for you. Whether a young or an old devotee, that person has to learn how to become firm in his mind. Manas prayer, mental prayer first, and then outwardly do whatever you have to do. In this way, he says, Arjun is waiting, but he's holding to his mind. Mentally, he's not releasing Lord Shiva. He says when a person calls on Mahadev Baba, he's Bhakta Vatsala. Bhakta Vatsala is a name given to Lord Shiva because he will come swiftly. Wherever you call him, he's coming there. He says just as an arrow will zip through the air, know that when a person has that relationship with Lord Shiva and you are in danger, whether it is in a moment where you need the defense mechanism of Mahadev, whether you need the guidance form, you need that form that is above you or below you, Lord Shiva will come. Depending on how that devotee worships him, the relationship that you build with him, then he will come to save you in your time of need. In that moment, when the boar let loose one roar, it started to run towards Arjun. Mahadev Baba stretches that arrow at that hunter, and Arjun and Lord Shiva let loose the arrows together, entering Arjun arrow, entering Mukha's body, the demon body, from the mouth and coming out to the back. Lord Shiva's arrow came to the back and stuck out to the front. And the animal that was running, now dead, midair, dropped and dragged with the force of the momentum of its body. Arjun, looking on, he says, this is a demon boy. Look at the form, look at the astonishing form that his prayer, he was able to convert his physical form. How could a person be so powerful? How could a person be so blessed that you would take one form and change it into another? Arjun says, wow, today, oh brother, you lie here lifeless, but I still bow to you because of your ability, your power to transition from one form to the other. You are truly gracious. New trouble now. As Arjun is about to pull out his arrow from the body of the boar, Lord Shiva in his hunter form sends one of his servants to get his arrow. And Arjun says, it is my arrow that killed the animal. What are you taking my arrow for? Oh brother, those belong to me. And they get into a little who is greater, who is better type of conversation. And the assistant to Lord Shiva says, you are a fool. You sit here as if you are a sadhu doing puja. And today you want to fight over something as trivial as an arrow? My Lord, He is the one who destroyed this animal for you. He was working on your behalf. And today He saved you from the onslaught of this animal. And you are trying to rob Him of His arrow? Oh, you are very ungrateful. My Lord, His name is Kirat. He's a head hunter. He's the head of all the hunters in the forest. And He thought it fit to save you from this animal. And today you want to fight whose arrow is better than whose arrow? Didn't you come here to sit to do prayers? Sit down and do your prayers. Even then, Arjun was talking to Lord Shiva. What type of test is this? Prabhu, you know the truth. Prabhu, you know what I came here to do. And it is as if I am being taunted again. Mahadev Baba, save me now. Calling on Lord Shiva again and again. Lord Shiva decides to come down from the bull that he's riding. And He comes, you hold that in your belonging and I am there with you. The second thing I give you the personal attention and care of Krishna. From this moment when the battle lines are drawn, Krishna will always be at your disposal. Prem se bolo Mahapati Mahadeva ki jai. Sometimes people ask the question, how come of all of them, of all the Pandavas, why did Krishna stay with Arjun? Think about it. If you have the 5 brothers and the eldest one is the leader, he's always given the regard and the respect as the big brother. How come he only assists the middle brother? He's the charioteer of the middle brother. When in the end of Mahabharata war, Krishna comes off the chariot, when he's calling Hanuman to jump off the flag, Krishna then applies that teaching, that guidance. He says, Arjun, before he comes off, you come off quick. Because when the flag of Hanuman, that red flag, comes off, destruction is going to come. Watch your Bhagavad Gita. Hanuman Baba is said to sit high above him. And so wherever that Hanuman Dwaj, Kapi Dwaj is flying, his protection is there. This is why your Hanuman flag is taller than all the other flags. Let Hanuman Baba sit above your Bauchar is the edge of the roof. Agreed? I can't make to the apex, the middle part of the roof. But if that flag is just higher where the guttering is, he's in charge of this house, protect this house. And even when Arjun wasn't thinking about that flag and the protection that flag gives, his coach, according to the blessings of Lord Shiva, still says, son, come off before Hanuman comes off. Because if that chariot starts to fall apart, it will damage you. The blessing of Lord Shiva, the person who listens to this discourse, is always supported by good guidance and good barriers. People that will hold you and corral you even when you are your own enemy. Sometimes your own lethargic, just as how the brothers were lazy and did not want to do the prayer. Sometimes you have all the knowledge and you have all the wisdom, but to get up and put it into practice is the hardest thing. Tonight we'll hear from a different coach about that. He says the person who does Shiva worship sometimes need to be saved from themselves, because we make so poor decisions for ourselves that we get ourselves in trouble. Think about last time we were talking about the friends. Lord Vishnu is the friend of Lord Shiva last night. When he needed him most, Lord Shiva puts his head in the lap of Lord Vishnu and is bathed with the tears of his friend. that encourages him when you have this problem between your wife and yourself, brother, go back and pray. He didn't tell him to go and do something that would damage his body. But he says, go back and pray and ask for that help. And with that type of advice, Lord Shiva regained his composure. Who is your guide? Who is guiding you? Who is keeping you from coming off track? Sometimes we ask God, dear God, guide me and protect me. The truth is, by virtue of our discourse tonight, please remember, sometimes God has to guide us against our own will. Nisha, sometimes the hardest thing to do is to fast. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to, oh God, I'm so tired. I had to go in prayer tonight. To have that discipline, to have that mindset, it is a sacrifice. That by itself, sparing your time, sparing your effort and your energy is one way of tapasya. It is burning the karma. Prem Sabalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Before we conclude, I want to share the mic tonight with someone that I consider as a personal coach, somebody who guides me, somebody who guides our group. And tonight, for the benefit and the blessing of everybody, listen to somebody who does this for a living, guiding people, not only in health arena, but in your marriage, in your choices. You see, sometimes the reason why I'm sharing the mic with people like this, last night I talked about the Shiva that we have to do. We're going to clean rivers and beaches. Saturday night we're hearing from Miss Mabia about that. Sometimes we teach children, it's a great thing to have your education and get the big job. Then what? How many of our children, Hindu children, make time to go in the hospital and pray? It is unheard of. You know what Hindu people do? You see, as you're dead, you see, from the time you're dead, we day boy. But you see, to pray with an elder, sometimes people don't even have patience with their own aged or senior ones. The indignity that we show people. So, using people and associating with people that could aid you and show you how to do better is paramount. Otherwise, you're not going to grow. You're going to stay in the same cesspool that you're in. And we are trying to do better. We're trying to grow. Tonight, listen to a different perspective. Very important in each and every one of us lives and the change that needs to happen. This program is about helping people to realize what we are eating. Let me put that in perspective. Inshan Ishmael sent out an email, a photocopy on Facebook, I think it was, where the sweeties that we buy has pork skin extract in it. You want to eat sweetie? That is basically what we're talking about. You think, honestly, to echo what she says, you think you're eating, okay, I'm not giving my child, name the sweetest thing you could imagine that has sugar in it. I'm giving them conkles, dry, it is sweet, it's bitter, it burns in my mouth. And in that bitter conkles has more sugar than you realize. Okay, fine, what are we talking about this for? What is the sense we pray to God and beg God, Om Trayambakam Yajamahe, give me strength, don't let death come for me. But you're eating things that will cause death. That is why. If what you do now, what we start to talk about now, will impact the younger ones. The health troubles that you and I have, we don't want the younger ones to have that. And the truth is, in the school system now, have more ADHD, attention deficiency, and other things that children, they are sitting like this, and they cannot stay easy. They cannot sit down in a class because, well, we don't play like how we used to play a long time. Parents who have the time to go and play cricket and football, Ramchan When all have the sports day, how much parents come in to play with children now? But give them all sorts of things to eat. And when they get sick and you have to run to the hospital, how many times you hear, this child needs some life-saving surgery now? Look at the trend. Look at what's going on. We don't talk about it, but we talk about stories and gods and these things. And things to talk about, we don't want to talk about. People like her are guiding people so that, you know what, not only yourself, forget you. Forget you. Think about your children and grandchildren. Do you want to see them get sick? Then we need to start to change. Trinidad has one of the highest diabetic rates in the world. It's a small place. And when you think this is normal, what we have is normal, in other parts people don't have to live the way we live. Now think about it. India has more sweets than we. Just to put it in perspective. So something wrong. It have to be, the lifestyle. You have to be a little more active if you want to eat what you want to eat like that. And some of the things we didn't really are making sense. As she says, it was, and that is true for plenty people. I watched RV one time. See that way she said it? It was ketchup and chips. If you go in places like Jamaica and Barbados, they give you a little container like this for your ketchup. Putting ketchup on a pizza or fries over there is unheard of. You can't do that. Only in Trinidad. Only in Trinidad. Prem Sivalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki jai. What great people do and what they talk about, other people will follow. If in our prayers we don't start to talk about health and nutrition, where are you going to learn about that? In school? All they tell you in school lunchtime is eating time. When you go for degree, you learn your science. When you get your job, you're lucky if you get a lunch. So I'll eat what I could eat quick. There's never a point where you learn about nutrition. But at least in the ashram of God, we'll discuss it. Thank God for people like them who know. They'll teach people like us who don't know. Agreed? Prem Sivalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki jai.